Welcome, welcome, welcome as you enter the space. Welcome, welcome. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Welcome. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Natasha Harrison, President and CEO of CommunityBuild Ventures, and I welcome you into this space wherever you are in the world right now. Will be sharing CommunityBuild Ventures official statement regarding Stop Cop City. Before I do that, we always like to begin our conversations with a land acknowledgement. But before I do that, I want to invite you to take a deep breath. If you take a deep breath with me, inhale, exhale. And I invite you to shake your body, get comfortable. I also invite you to look around wherever you are, your space, from your left to right, in front of you and behind you. Um, Hopefully, you feel safe wherever you are, but I just want you to be aware, right, of your surroundings. Like, okay, letting your signaling to your body, like, okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. Um, so again, I welcome you as you come in. Definitely, I want to know that you're here. Please, say hello or welcome, whatever feels resonant to you, to just let me know that you're here with me. All right. Okay. All right. So before at CommunityBuild Ventures, before we move into our agenda, we are learning um, to acknowledge the land. Again, land is something sacred to all of us, whether we consciously appreciate it or not, right? It is very sacred. And so I want to begin by first acknowledging the land that I am currently residing on. I reside in Atlanta, Georgia. It is the Muskogee Creek land. And I want to honor the indigenous stewards of this land. I am on the Muskogee Creek land. I invite you here to go to the QR code or the website link to begin to learn more about the land that you currently reside on. I acknowledge this land. Prior to the turn of the 19th century, this Muskogee Creek Nation dominated much of the Deep South, controlling territory covered by modern Georgia, Alabama, and northern Florida. Their territory included, of course, much rich arable land that I still enjoy, very rich, fertile land. And of course, it was highly sought after by white settlers, white colonialists. And the Compact of 1802, Georgia agreed to cede its claim on the land of what is now Alabama and Mississippi in exchange for the removal of all indigenous people within the state bounds of Georgia. By the mid 1820s, Georgia's population had increased significantly, but the federal government had not yet removed the indigenous people. Chief McIntosh, Chief William McIntosh, who through his matrilineal line um, was Muskogee Creek, and on his father's side, his father was a white Scottish man, and he was the first cousin of Governor Troup, which was the governor at that time in the 1820s, which also there's a county named after uh, Governor Troup. Uh, Chief William McIntosh and Governor Troup unlawfully signed the 1825 Treaty of Indian Springs that ceded the remaining Muskogee Creek land to the U.S. government. The Creek National Council protested to the federal government, and the federal government sided with them. And the 1826 Treaty of Washington created a new land succession, but the Creek land had already, right, as you can imagine, was distributed, and it was not restored. The Creek Nation later executed Chief William McIntosh for his treasonous behavior. The nation was later relocated to Oklahoma, which is now their center and reservation. I also want to note that they were forcibly removed in the hopes, it has been documented, in the hopes that they would be unfortunately eradicated. It was an intention around genocide for the Muskogee Creek. The Porch Creek Nation is currently active in Alabama. So you can go to Porch Creek Nation, their website, and they're still located in Alabama. Again, I'm just so grateful for their cultivation that allows us to still get food and shelter from this land. I'm very grateful for their wisdom and their teachings. Ashe. So again, I invite you to go to Native Land Digital to begin to learn more and do your own uh, investigation and follow your curiosity on the land you currently reside on. And so again, today I will be sharing CommunityBuild Ventures official statement regarding Stop Cop City, regarding Cop City. But before I do that, I want to just provide some context about who I am and my personal and familiar relationship with the land in question, the Weelaunee Forest, which is now known as South River Forest, located in unincorporated Cobb County, where the city of Atlanta has been approved through the Atlanta Police Foundation to develop that land for what folks are calling Cop City, but it is literally a police military facility. Um, and so I'm Natasha Harrison. I am an Atlanta native. I'm a Grady baby. So anybody on here who is from Atlanta knows what that means. My brother is also a Grady baby. This is my mother pictured here. This is me, a picture of my mother when she was a baby. She's from Newport, Tennessee, and a toddler picture of me, I believe, in our home that my grandmother's home, to be exact, which is located not that far from Weelaunee Forest, also known as the South River Forest. So I grew up, born and raised in Atlanta. Grew up in East Atlanta in communities, the McDonough Geist community, which is East Atlanta, that borders historical Thomasville. In that community, historically Black community, there are elders there that live there. Some of the elders that live there are descendants of the founders of these communities. Henry Thomas, for example, descended. The communities named after him. His descendants live in historical Thomasville and Norwood Manor. And in those communities east of Atlanta, where I grew up, there is the federal penitentiary, not that far from us. Um, I grew up not that far from real industrial parks. There's landfills near there on that Atlanta southeastern side. Not that far from there are landfills. And then on the unincorporated County side, when my grandmother moved to Atlanta, when my mother was in the 10th grade, she bought a house not that far from South River Forest or Weelaunee Forest, Weelaunee Forest. And my mother went to Gordon High School, which is now McNair, one of the McNair high schools. Their rival high school was Walker, which is McNair Senior. And my godmother lives not that far from the forest as well. So I have strong ties and in community, really beautiful memories growing up across East Atlanta and that part of South DeKalb County. And unfortunately, when my grandmother died, my mother lost the home, could not maintain the mortgage and or tax payments on the property, which began our pursuit of affordability across East Atlanta and Decatur for all of my life. We had a very nomadic life that had intermittent experiences of homelessness. And so, all that to say is that I have a close connection and understanding of some of the experiences the majority Black communities have in those areas on actually both sides. And just want to give some context that personally, um, my family was and is affected by um, the state of Atlanta. I also want to share that I do love Atlanta. I love Atlanta. Born and raised here, but I do want to share that my experiences as a child of seeing my mother navigate affordability across the city, Metro Atlanta, was very heartbreaking. And I also want to share that the motto of Atlanta as the city too busy to hate um, used to really trigger me so much. Just hearing that just always was very painful for me growing up, and really because we experience um, a hate a lot in this city, and so it was difficult for me, so much so that I, as a young adult, um, over 20 something years ago, I had started to work to uh, leave Atlanta. And I eventually did. I left Atlanta for about 8 years and then we moved back in 2013. And so that's my relationship with Atlanta. I love it. Um, I'm here. I am a part of what's touted nationally, part of the Black middle class. But just I am very aware by real amazing community members, exposure, and honestly, just grace and spirit that I'm in the middle class. As I will share in um, our official statement, that those of us that were born not even close to the first step of the socioeconomic ladder typically stay in that position here in the city as Black folks who are born and raised here. So I just wanted to kind of give that context before I read my statement. And again, I am very grateful that you are joining with me in this space. As I share my statement, I will be projecting images of local Black Metro Atlanta artists and invite you to just put your gaze upon these images. Some of the things that I might share may incite. I want you, as I share, to really find your breath, um, to take deep breaths. One of the things about this whole process, I'm doing this in support of community. We need to share the truth in order to get to healing. That's why history is so very important to get to the bottom, to the root of things. In the spirit of Sankofa, which is to go back and retrieve, which is wisdom to bring forward, we need to honor the past and also helps us to really get clarity an awareness and a consciousness of how we got here. Okay. So, again, if at any time the words that I say, I want you to find your breath, I want you to place your gaze upon the images that I share, hopefully to settle your body as much as possible so that you are, of course, getting clarity. We want to acknowledge any stress responses that you're having. And if you need to take a break or step away um, due to anything that I share, I invite you to do that as well. Really take care of yourself as I share our official statement. Okay. Thank you. All right. So, so that's the context, why I'm here. I have a personal relationship to the land in question. Um, yeah, so thank you. All right. So, Community Build Ventures official statement regarding Cop City. The city, too busy to hate, continuously demonstrates harm and violence towards Black people with Cop City. We must stop Cop City. At the turn of the 20th century, the motto of Atlanta as the city too busy to hate was used as an economic driver to invite companies to locate and or invest in the city. The same moniker was used as a national multi-million dollar advertising campaign by the mayor Ivan Allen Jr. in 1964 when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. To celebrate this honor, a small group of Atlantans organized a dinner in Dr. King's honor. Mayor Allen urged white leaders to sponsor the event, but the invitations went unanswered. Due to lack of support, the current and former leaders of Coca Cola were asked by the mayor to urge the leaders, white leaders, to support this honorary dinner. The Coca Cola leaders threatened the business community. We are an international business. The Coca Cola company does not need Atlanta. You all need to decide whether Atlanta needs the Coca Cola company. Days before the dinner, the tickets were sold out. Fast forward to present day, the motto is still being used as an economic destination message. It's being used to signal that Atlanta is a progressive city. This is a lie. Atlanta has a long history of economic and environmental violence towards Black and Indigenous people. Atlanta has the highest income inequality in the nation due to long standing inequities. The median household income for a Black family in Atlanta is 28,000, while the median income for white families roughly 84,000. Weelaunee Forest, now called the South River Forest, was home to the Muskogee Creek Nation. They were forcibly moved by the state to make way for the growing white settler population and economic gain. They were forcibly moved to Oklahoma with the intention of genocide. The communities surrounding Weelaunee Forest are majority historically Black communities. These communities have endured environmental and economic violence of industrial parks and landfills, a prison labor farm with a history of convict leasing and decades of disinvestment. Land is sacred. Our ancestors and current residents deserve a right to heal. They deserve to stop fighting for the basics. The business and philanthropy sectors who simultaneously support the beloved benefit using the likeness and words of Dr. King also support Cop City. This is not about building a beloved community, as Dr. King so passionately and eloquently described. It's not about public safety, it is about hate. As longtime Black residents and Atlanta natives, we know the history of this city. We know that Black people are casualties in the name of public safety. We know that our well being and access to clean land and air is elusive. We know Black people that are born in marginalized communities are not likely to move up the socioeconomic ladder in this city. We stand with Stop Cop City. Our lives depend on it. Again, thank you for this opportunity to share our official statement. If anything at all resonated with you with this, I invite you to share in the comments section of this. I invite you to reach out to us here. You can reach out to Keisha Cameron to share your thoughts about our statement. And please have a wonderful rest of your day. Before entering in the next phase of your day or lunch, I invite you to take some breaths to find your breath, to find your normal breath pattern. It's very important. And again, thank you for this time. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.